Hey guys, so many of you guys have asked me in the past why I don't drink, and I kind of realized that I've always given you guys sort of ambiguous answers to the question, and it's not because I'm ashamed of my reasonings, it's more because I have a bunch of little stories that kind of accumulate into a bigger reason as to why I don't drink. But pretty much to sum it up, I have had a shit ton of experiences that have taught me that alcohol is never worth the consequence of some of the things that you may endure while drinking. I have had many shitty experiences when it comes to alcohol, and this is just one of them. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about my worst bedroom experience ever.
Yeah.
How proud are you? How proud are you right now?
I'm not very proud.
Now, grade 12 is a weird time for Albertans because in grade 12 you are almost allowed to drink because the legal drinking age is 18. In fact, some of you are allowed to drink in high school because you do turn 18 early. So there's a lot of house parties going on and there's a lot of drinking going on, and I was no exception to that rule. I also had a friend who turned 18 in December, so he was legally allowed to walk into the liquor store and buy alcohol for parties. Not only that, but he also had a license, which pretty much gave us free access to whatever parties we wanted to go to. Now that sounds pretty sweet, but it's not as sweet as you think because I happen to be raised in a very Muslim household, so on top of being underage, I was also not allowed to drink just by family rule, even if I was of age. This made my high school career pretty difficult, and it ended up me being deceitful with my parents a lot, which is something that I actually really regret. Now this story needs that information because this story is about me choosing not to go home when I should have went home, and the consequences that ensued because of it. Now in my grade 12th year, I had a friend named Morgan whose parents won the lottery, $20 million. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but it is 100% true, and it happened. With winning $20 million comes traveling, but she was in school, so they left her behind a lot. And leaving a grade 12 student behind alone in your house for a weekend is never a good thing. And she ended up having multiple parties that were pretty popular, not only in our high school, but in pretty much just the city alone. I really wanted to go to one of these parties, and I pretty much convinced Keenan, after a lot of begging, to take me and also bootleg for me, and also take my two other friends. Yeah, not a nice person. At the time, I had two friends, Michaela and Katie, aka Katie the Crazy Cat Lady. And we decided to pile up in Keenan's car, go get a bunch of alcohol, and go to this party. Now, need I remind you, my parents don't drink, so I wasn't exactly educated on alcohol etiquette, what to drink, how much is too much, etc. So I ended up asking Keenan to get me vodka, Malibu, and spiced rum, which I still wonder why today I got spiced rum, but whatever. So me and my three friends show up to the party and we start drinking pretty much immediately, and I'm mixing everything. And as I'm mixing everything and drinking extremely fast, I get hit with a wall of alcohol and I have to sit down and close my eyes because the room was spinning and I was pretty much borderline passed out. It's like that weird in between where it's nothing but you and your thoughts and the booming bass, and you're not exactly sure what's happening. It was one of those moments. So I was sitting on the couch with my mouth open, with my eyes closed, and Katie, who gets kind of aggressive with touching when she's drunk, comes up and starts touching me. I swat her away drunkenly, but it didn't exactly work, and pretty much as soon as I opened up my eyes, there was Katie's face right in front of mine, and she was trying to kiss my face. Now, my reaction at the time was to absolutely freak out because I had a boyfriend and I felt like what she was trying to do was wrong. So my drunk ass thought it was appropriate to wail, scream, and cry in the middle of this party full of strangers. Keenan, being sober because he was driving us, decided that this meant it was time to go. There was one problem with that. It was about 11 p.m. and if he took me home at that time, I would have been caught by my parents, and that would have been certain death. So what do we do instead? Michaela offers to sneak us into her house and sleep in her bed for the night so I could avoid detection. There was only one problem with that. Katie was still very aggressive with her touching, and I was uncomfortable. But I had two options, and one of them seemed a lot more appetizing at the time than the other one, so I decided to go to Michaela's. Now, I know what you're thinking, and you're wrong. This does not end in a lesbian experience, and I know some of you guys are going to be very disappointed, but I can safely say this, God, I wish that's what happened. But it's not. As we get closer to Michaela's, I realize, holy shit, I'm going to have to share a bed with Katie. So I start pleading to Michaela to let me sleep on one of the sides and have Michaela sleep in the middle, which she quickly said, absolutely not, it's my bed, I'm not sleeping in the middle, you sleep in the middle. And I realized that I was in for an extremely long night. As soon as we got into bed, I went into fetal position, which I thought was probably the safest way to guard myself, but I was absolutely wrong because Katie saw that as an invitation to spoon me. So she starts spooning me and whispering things in my ear, and I try my best to just ignore it and go to sleep, and eventually I do. Fast forward to 4 a.m. when I wake up extremely nauseous and kind of disoriented. I start to wake up and realize that I am going to puke. And as I'm getting out of bed, I smell this waft of just something incredibly bad. Now at the time I thought it's just my nausea, it's just I'm groggy, it's whatever, maybe somebody farted, I don't know, but I need to get up and go to the bathroom and get some water and puke. As I'm getting up to go to the bathroom, I realize that the smell is following me, and it's kind of freaking me out at this point. So as I'm filling up the water, I'm trying to figure out where the smell's coming from, and as I am done filling up the water, I put my arm down and I feel nothing but wet from my armpit to my upper hip. And I slowly turn my head, and I still remember this, slowly I turn my head, hoping to God that it's just water from the sink. And as I look down, all I see on my white shirt is just a stain of brown. And when I say brown, I mean brown. I wanted it to be puke so bad. I did. But I knew right from the get-go, from the smell alone, this was not puke. I started to freak out. I started screaming, I started crying, I started ripping off my clothing, and as I was naked, dancing, screaming, and crying in the basement, Michaela's mom woke up. And as she came downstairs, she was not happy at the fact that there was a strange, naked 17-year-old girl screaming at 4 a.m. in her house. So her reaction to my reaction was to start yelling at me to get out of her house. So as I was being shit on, I was getting shit on again, and I started freaking out because not only was the problem on my shirt, now the problem was in front of me in the form of a very angry parent. So I quickly moved naked back into the room where everybody was awake. Katie was now awake with brown all over the back of her shorts. And I started getting dressed, and the mom started freaking out because there's shit on the bed, there's shit on two of the girls that are in the room, and Michaela's standing there disoriented, not knowing what to do. So we get kicked out of the house. And as we get kicked out of the house and I'm sheepishly trying to put on my clothes, I realize, holy shit, this could have been avoided. This whole thing could have been avoided, but I had to drink a series of random drinks, and now I'm here in the middle of a neighborhood that I don't know with a girl that has shit all over herself and random clothing that I picked out of my friend's closet. And I think it was one of those times where I had to think, you know, was it worth it? What was the $100 of alcohol worth the experience that I was having now? And the answer was no. I ended up losing that friend Katie. We didn't really talk anymore after. It was really awkward. And I ended up losing rights to be in Michaela's house, which was also super, super, super shitty. This isn't the first time I've lost friends to alcohol, and it isn't the last either. I'd like to say if it was just one bad experience, I would have brushed it off, kind of laughed at it and moved on, but it definitely wasn't just one experience. And I've kind of gotten to the point where I've just decided that it's never really worth it to drink, and it's better to just have fun sober and watch other people do stupid drunk shit. I know that this isn't a popular opinion or a popular choice, especially in today's day and age, but I'm happy and proud of my choice, and I still have a lot of fun. I just never end up in really shitty situations. Anyways, guys, that's the story for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you guys stay tuned. I'll keep you guys posted, and yeah, see you guys next time, whenever that is. Peace.